In the mid-2000s, digital media was expanding rapidly. MP3 collections were growing, and digital video was becoming a reality. But the hardware market was still struggling to figure out how to put all those files into your pocket. For most people, there was a default consumer choice, Apple's 30-gigabyte iPod video. But for users who actually wanted to watch movies, the iPod had significant technical limits. Its battery would often die after just 2 hours of video playback, its display was limited to a 65,000 color palette, and moving any media onto the device required using the restrictive iTunes software ecosystem. That opened the door for a challenger, the Creative Zen Vision series, designed specifically to compete with Apple's flagship. Creative's strategy was to win the spec sheet battle, offering hardware that outperformed the iPod in nearly every measurable category. This created a choice for buyers. Do you prioritize raw hardware capability, or do you want physical sleekness and software ease? To find the answer, we have to look at whether that high-end spec sheet was worth the friction required to actually use it. This chart helps map the trade-off. We're looking at media quality and battery life on the y-axis against user friction and physical bulk on the x-axis. For the display, Creative used an 18-bit panel capable of rendering over 262,000 colors. Compared to the iPod's 65,000 color limit, the Zen Vision rendered gradients and skin tones with much higher fidelity. They paired that screen with a larger battery, providing 4 hours of continuous video, doubling the iPod's capacity. But those specs came with a physical cost. At 18.6 millimeters, the Zen was double the thickness of the iPod, making it much heavier and bulkier. The original Zen Vision also utilized a specific type of LCD called a twisted pneumatic or TN panel. These panels offered high brightness for outdoor use and a crisp 640 by 480 resolution, but were limited by viewing angles. Unless you were looking directly at the center of the screen, the colors would invert and wash out almost immediately. So while the Zen Vision provided a vibrant cinematic experience, its size and narrow viewing angles meant it was a solitary one. The trade-offs become even clearer when looking at how media actually gets onto the device. The Zen Vision natively supported common PC video formats like DivX, Xvid, and Windows Media Video. This meant you could often bypass a sync manager entirely. If the file was compatible, you could drag and drop it directly onto the player. But if a file wasn't supported, or if you wanted to transfer recorded television, you were forced to use Creative's Media Explorer software. This was especially true for TiVo transfers. It was a major feature for power users, but it relied on a secondary software workflow that added significant friction. The conversion process was often incredibly slow. On a mid-2000s computer, it could take 2 hours of processing time to convert just 1 hour of video for the Zen. During that process, the software often downsampled the files to 320 by 240, which negated the benefit of the high-resolution screen you bought the device for in the first place. You gained the freedom of an open-format player, but you paid for it with a very slow software routine. The final metrics involve audio quality and the physical interface. Creative used a high-quality amplifier with a 97 decibel signal-to-noise ratio and a custom 5-band equalizer. For audio files, this meant a clean signal with almost zero background hiss, enough power to drive high-end studio monitors. There were limits. Pushing the bass on the EQ at high volumes could occasionally cause digital clipping. But the precision of the audio was often at odds with the imprecise vertical touchpad used for navigation. The pad's hypersensitivity made it easy to overshoot your destination or accidentally select the wrong track while scrolling through a list. When you're fighting the interface just to hit play, the technical advantages on the spec sheet start to lose their value. The choice comes down to which type of friction you're willing to tolerate in exchange for hardware performance. Our first profile is the commuter and spec-optimizer. If you spent your daily commute on a train and needed a device that could play full movies without the battery dying before you arrived, the Zen Vision was the practical choice. Then there is the friction-averse minimalist profile. If you wanted a device that disappeared in your pocket and a software experience that handled file management automatically, you were better off with the thinner, lower-spec iPod. Ultimately, the Zen Vision was a device for the user who valued a 262,000 color screen and high-fidelity audio, enough to overlook the physical bulk and the slow software.